How's it going?
How are you?
Good.
So let's talk about your incredible Datsun Roadster.
Yeah, this is it. It's been a crazy year building this thing. Did it for Battle of the Builders here. Kind of got the car in January this year and did a bunch of 3D scanning on it. CAD design. I designed a whole chassis for it from scratch. I run like the Pushrod suspension, all custom A-arms, custom four-link, all that stuff, custom knuckles, and then I actually got the car back in July 22nd from the Sandblaster, so it kind of all came together in 3 months after that.
When they're judging Battle of the Builders, do they look at that stuff do they put it on a lift?
We're putting it on a lift today, and then we're all the top 10 young guns are looking at each other's cars, and we're going to vote on each other's cars. So it's pretty, I like that way instead of judges deciding.
Right.
We all kind of get to pick each other's.
So then young gun, this is your first SEMA.
This is my first SEMA, yeah.
First SEMA build.
Yep.
And then, are you already in the top?
I'm in the top 10 of young guns, so top 40 overall.
Top 40 overall, top 10 young guns.
Yep.
What a nice build.
Thank you.
So then, what made you want to build the Datsun Roadster?
I wanted something that I could show off kind of my hot rod style fabrication. I work on hot rods and muscle cars a lot, so I wanted to show off like the sheet metal work and kind of traditional fabrication, as well as the more techie side with CAD and CNC machining, and just being a Roadster, it opened it up a lot. Datsuns are my favorite, so that was a big plus. And then my fiance really likes these things too, so we're getting married next year. It'll be a cool white car to have in our wedding.
Yeah, this is super cool.
Yeah.
Went with the SR power plant?
Yeah, it's SR20-DT bottom end with the P11 top end, so it's got the variable valve timing. And then I wanted to keep it like true to a 60s sound and 60s feel, so I threw the Weber carburetors on there. They're Weber 45s, and I machined out the intake manifolds and the throttle linkage, and all that stuff is all from scratch.
You made all this stuff?
Yeah, I have a CNC machine, so makes it easy for doing that kind of stuff. It's all designed in CAD and then 3D printed, and then once that all fits, get a chunk of aluminum and hog it out.
How does it run then?
We started it up about 2 hours before putting it on the trailer and driving straight here from Wisconsin, so it's just been idling around and revving up a little bit, but it's been great so far.
That's super cool.
I got Pegasus Racing right by my house, and one of the guys out there is real good at setting those things up, so he kind of set it up for me, and it worked right away.
So you built the chassis?
Yeah, so these are frame cars to start with, not unibodies. So I went to a Roadster shop earlier this year, and I kind of got really inspired by what they do, and I wanted to build a chassis the same way they're doing it.
And then because you did that, like you went with like a cantilever.
Yeah,
setup.
I wanted to show off a little, so I decided to, get into doing the whole cantilever design and getting into all the triangles and stuff on that. And
because traditionally, where's the suspension's over here?
Yeah, so on these, it's really far down low. It's a spring in the shock and the spring, and then the rear is actually leaf spring on these from the factory.
And then so this is like you're utilizing this. Otherwise, it would be empty space.
Yeah, I had to notch out the body right here to fit that. It normally would go straight across and hit all that stuff, but I haven't really seen that done before, and I thought it would just be a really cool, simple spot with it, with how straight these frame rails come forward.
So neat. Really, really cool. And then the headers.
Yeah, the headers kind of.
What the hell?
That's my favorite part about the car. It's a titanium header, and it's flame bent. So I packed the tube with sand, and then you kind of heat up the outside of it while keeping pressure on it, and just slowly creep it into the shape you want. It's like a trick that old Japanese chopper guys use. And I bought 20 feet of tube to do the header, and I had about 4 feet left over, so there's 16 feet of tube in that little header.
No way.
It sounds wicked, yeah, it's awesome. And the exhaust is a 2.5-inch titanium exhaust, a whole bay pack.
But like, is there any benefit for it to be like this versus it just going straight down?
Just looks and sound, I think. Being long runners and all the bends and stuff, it kind of makes it sound really snappy, I think. But yeah, just kind of I wanted to build some cool high-rise header.
And it's not even, like, did you calculate the lengths or anything?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I mean, it's all pretty close. There's nothing like really uneven or anything like that, but it's kind of more of a cars and coffee car than a performance car in any means. I mean,
that is really neat.
It
looks crazy. I mean, I guess
that's what I wanted. Yeah,
part
I
of
wanted
it is because
crazy.
you with this style of bending, you can't really bend it that tight.
Yeah, so that's where these bends from Taycan come into play. Like you can see coming off the header flanges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If I really needed to turn it, I would toss one of those in.
Understood.
Because yeah, I mean, like this bend probably here is about as tight as you can get it flame bending it before it starts to kink.
Right. Did you mock this up then?
No, it was all just done right on the car, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I kind of would make wire forms of the runner that I wanted and just start bending it to that shape on the bench.
One mirror.
Yeah, it's a factory mirror. They're normally mounted up here, but I kind of wanted that tougher, lower look, so I relocated down there and added some holes and kind of made it more hot roddy. And all the chrome on it, I had it replated in nickel, so it kind of matches the warmer white of the car.
How was the chassis when you first picked this up?
The chassis is really good on it, actually. The body was pretty rough. It was crashed in 3 corners, so there was a lot of restoration work. I replaced this quarter panel, did a lot of work on that quarter panel, replaced the back panel, and did a lot of panel bumping on the other stuff.
Was this a 1600?
It was a 2000,
Okay.
69 2000 to start with.
69 2000. And then, so did all the body work, made your own chassis,
Yep.
put it all together.
Yeah.
Who did the paint?
I did the body work and all that stuff, and then the guy out at the paint shop painted it for me. I didn't have time to mess that up, so.
It looks really, really good.
Yeah, and like all the seats are hand-shaped, so I shaped all those out of aluminum as well as the dash. Did the whole interior. It was my first time doing interior myself, and that was just a blast too.
That's incredible.
Leather work. It's been a while.
That's just incredible. The dash, it all looks so finished. It all looks so good.
Yeah, so the 1964 models of these came with a dash that's similar shape. So I kind of took inspiration from that instead of going, these had like a 240Z looking dash on it to start with, but I wanted to keep it more hot roddy, so I went that way.
Love everything. The gauges, the steering wheel, the shift knob, it all really comes together.
Yeah, so there's a cool story with that shift knob. That's actually the first job I had out of high school was working at a hot rod shop, and he really gave me a good opportunity to do all the sheet metal shaping, and I mean, that's where I learned a ton of the fabrication work that I know, and he makes those shift knobs. It's like an old 40s hot rod one he remakes, so it's cool to be able to run like a hot rod shift knob from him on it. And
that's awesome. You're just blending these worlds together.
That's what was the whole theme of the car. I really wanted a theme. So like even like the Moon Eye gauges, you know, they're American hot rodding owned by Japanese guys now, and same with like the door pulls.
That's what really ties this together. I love that.
Yeah.
It's American and Japanese.
Yeah. I mean, even the coilovers are American QA1 with Swift springs on them and all that stuff, yeah. I really try to keep a theme with the whole thing.
This is so neat. It's got to be so cool. I mean, I guess you can't really look at them because there's no room.
Oh, yeah, I drove it around the block before coming here, and I was looking back, and they were just moving like crazy. It was fun.
Got to pay attention to the road.
It's not as clunky as I thought it was going to be either, so that's pretty cool.
So they do move quite a bit and make noise, even if you're going around the parking lot?
Yeah.
That is really cool.
The parking lot here hasn't been too bad, but around my block is pretty rough, so.
Love the wheels, too.
Yeah, I'm super excited that Watanabe released those last year. Those are awesome.
It fits the look of the car so much, and I can't believe, so this is
all SEMA ride height, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to have to raise it up a little bit, but.
To drive it,
I have been driving it like this, and it's got full turning radius and all that stuff, so maybe a half inch up I'll go.
Amazing.
And then the wheel is a Watanabe Falcon that one of my friends kind of restored for me too. He does woodworking, so.
This is so nice. I love the wood.
Yeah, I'm stoked that I found one of those.
You got the wheel, took off the original wood. I'm assuming it wasn't very good
It's the original wood, but it had a really thick epoxy coating, and it was all cracked. So he stripped epoxy and fixed all the cracks and brushed the aluminum for me. He was a guy that I worked with at the hot rod shop too, so
looks
kind of
great.
cool.
Can I open the door?
Yeah, absolutely. And all that is just factory, a mix mosh of years, door handles and door pulls, and just kind of spiced it up a little by drilling holes and stuff in it.
Love the little moon eyes.
Fun.
Little moon eyes touches. So then, is there anything in the trunk?
Nah, just a bunch of junk in there.
That exhaust is so nice.
Yeah, it's all titanium, too. Originally, they had a megaphone style tip, and then Taycan sells that megaphone. I was just jacked to use that.
I can just imagine cruising this on a nice summer day, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what it's for. Cars and coffees with the wife. Yeah. The rear fender flares are all metal shaped too. Originally they're pretty low, like far down here, so you have to run the wheels way far in and tucked. Mm-hmm. So I I raised those. I made new ones, metal shaped them in, and then all the inner wheel well, I kind of tubbed out almost to tuck the wheel in there like, with a wider stance.
I love the little boot that you made.
Yeah, those are fun.
Right, so you have this carpet,
Yeah.
and then
So
it's like displaying this awesome stuff going on.
Yeah.
What is this?
Butter is my kind of like brand welding company. I own Butter Welding.
Okay. So you made all this too?
Yep, all that I CNC machined out.
And what about this piece that they mounted?
That's just a piece that's laser cut, so that's kind of built how the frame is, and then welded together and sanded the corners down and got it powder coated. And then in between there is a piece of neoprene to seal it from the. There's like a neoprene gasket from the sealed from the elements, I guess. Not that this thing's gonna be in rain ever, hopefully.
Right. This is just so neat. I love that. It's so cool.
Thank you.
What made you think of that?
It must have just been like I think maybe Roadster Shop did it on one of their cars on an Instagram post I saw, but it really is just like a cool way to finish that coming up through there.
Yeah. So, are there any plans to put a top on it, or a removable top or anything?
We'll see what we use it for. If we're taking it on a bigger trip, I like to go camping with my modified cars. So if we start going camping and stuff with it, I'll probably end up putting a roll cage and seat belts and a top on it. But right now, it's just going to be a cars and coffee, bring it to car shows kind of thing, and enjoy nice days in Wisconsin. Yeah.
What a great car!
Here, this is like my favorite part on the car right here.
What's that?
I'm claiming first ever SR20 with mechanical throttle linkage. So there's no cables. It's just straight from the pedal to a mechanical linkage. And all that was CNC machined out. I CAD designed all that stuff and got all the ratios right to get full throttle.
How many people run carbs on SR20s?
I've seen one guy in Puerto Rico running it on a non-VVL one. So I can't take credit for that.
But then, so like the VVL, all that stuff still is working?
Yeah, so it's got a Heltec Elite 550 in it still. And then that's running the timing, because it doesn't have a distributor, so I'm running timing off of a crank signal.
Got it.
And then that's running the fan, the fuel pump, as well as the VVL solenoid. So it's just a single one now.
And then, so that also means you can have a rev limiter?
Correct, yes.
From that?
Yeah, I can have ignition cut.
Got it.
Yep. These things rev pretty good too, the VVL heads. So I'll probably take it to like 8,000, hopefully.
Yeah.
When we start getting it tuned up, I mean, I got to get it on the dyno and nut and bolt everything over winter for sure, but yeah. The front end's pretty cool on this thing too. That's kind of a unique.
This is really nice here.
Yeah, so originally there was like a sheet metal bumper, almost like a block that came out, and then another metal bumper on top of that. So I bet it stuck out like another 6 inches. And I was sitting there looking at my buddy's 2002, and it has kind of a front end that slopes down. Like, man, that would be so cool. So this was actually a factory seam I drilled the spot welds out of, and then I hand shaped all this stuff out of aluminum, and just kind of flatten the face up really good too. I didn't want to do any like holes or anything like that, and I just wanted like a real flat, like road racy looking face on it.
It looks great.
And of course you got to get the Marcel lights.
Yeah. And then all of this stuff, is this stuff original from the original car?
Yeah, so this is the original 2000. This is a stainless steel aftermarket trim ring, and then this is a stainless steel insert that I had cut out. Kind of just matched the stainless steel thing through it all.
It's just so clean.
Yeah, it's been
It's
a while.
amazing
ride.
how clean this is. And then, so what about this? Did you have to shape this?
Yeah, so the original fender came down to a point right here.
Yeah.
So I shaped a corner piece to flare it out with that.
Right, it matches.
Yeah,
this.
and I mean, I was able to run a little bit more camber with the custom control arms and everything I have, so it kind of just fit that wider look, doing it that way.
So then the wheelbase is pretty similar.
Wheelbase is factory.
Okay,
Yep.
It is factory.
Yep. Yeah,
You
I
wanted to keep that.
Yeah, I 3D scanned the whole chassis and the whole body before designing everything, so it bolted right up, my custom chassis.
Did you have a chance to weigh this at all?
No, I really wanted to get on the scales. I'm pretty sure it's under 18. I'm hoping it's closer to that 17 range, but it should be a lot lighter than factory, and factory's a little under 2,000.
So lighter than factory.
Yeah. So the frame is a couple hundred pounds lighter than factory. The engine should be a little bit lighter than factory. I mean, the seats and dashboard weigh nothing. I use lightweight sound deadening, I mean, there's not a lot to it. The wiring harness is a lot smaller than factory. Yeah, I'm hoping definitely hoping to be under 18.
It's amazing that you use sound deadening at all.
Well, I mean, the floor has all these beads rolled in it, and I kind of wanted that really nice carpet, so it helps flatten out the floor too. There's not much for sound editing. It's more for heat than anything.
Did you document all of this process then?
I'm pretty terrible at taking pictures while I'm doing stuff, so a lot of Instagram and Snapchat stories, just at the end of the night, 3 a.m., yelling about stuff.
Yeah, you're just more focused on the build.
Yeah. I mean, it all came together in about 3 months here, so it was 100-hour weeks and every night in the garage till 3, 4 in the morning, and then the last few weeks were pretty much 2 hours of sleep every night. Definitely worth it. It's the only way I get cars done, I guess.
Unbelievable. Great build. Thank you so much for showing us.
Yeah, appreciate it. It was fun.
So cool.